We're now joined by Lesiba Thobakgale, who is the South African Police Union National Spokesperson, and he joins us via our video link. Lesiba, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, we've heard when the Deputy President today was indeed in Parliament, he spoke about a number of topics, and one of those topics was the elaborate plans they have in place when it comes to how, crime will be fought in the country. Perhaps let's start off there. I'm sure you listened to him. What is your reaction to what we've heard from the Deputy President now that we've heard these plans in terms of crime prevention in the country?
Thank you so much, Mbali, for having us. Greetings to your viewers back at home. The Deputy President touched on a critical issue. He spoke to private security as well, collaborating with the police and also having even other law enforcement sectors to clearly collaborate very well with the police, not for them to work in silos. So that on its own, we are seeing it as a positive move because private security plays a very critical role in fighting crime. And we have seen in most cases, as much as for them it is about business, but it is about the bigger fight of fighting crime, where competition should not be the one that is being upheld, but instead collaboration with the police, and where we see even Metro Police and so on, and like we have seen in Gauteng. And further to that, the issue of the community policing forum, but it plays a critical role because our CPEF, it is dead. They need to wake up. We need to have in each and every community, we need to have a community policing forum that is clearly active, that will work hand in glove with the police, because the role of community policing forum, it becomes critical as they are eyes and ears of the police, as the police cannot be everywhere. So that is also needed. And one of the solutions that we have as SAPU, it is the issue of technology. We need to utilize technological advancement as we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and that keeps on evolving. We need to make sure that even the police have the necessary technology to fight with cyber crimes, as we have seen the trends that are being utilized now, where there are some kidnappings of victims, where they will be told to open their phones and open their banking apps and so on. Somebody should be able to detect a specific trend to say, no, this is not the trend that a banker is using to go and withdraw from one ATM and to the other. So it really takes us back to the issue to say, even the South African police services in terms of resources, and even in terms of training, and in terms of making sure that there is more capacity that is clearly given to the use of technology. When we look at the local criminal record center, the ones who go to crime scenes to take photos, to go and make sure that they collect evidence, they do not have, even starting from the human capital and even the use of technology, they happen to be overburdened, where sometimes one has to leave a scene that is not finished, to go to attend to another scene without completing that other one. The moment you come back, that one is clearly contaminated, and then convictions, they get to be affected. So we believe that if government and even the South African police services can invest more on technology, because in most cases, these cyber crimes are the ones that are so prevalent, and more victims keep on becoming even more victims to these types of crimes.
And, while the Deputy President was speaking in Parliament, and, even over the past few days, we've been hearing about new recruits, for the police force. And we are being told that, for this financial year, overall, there'll be at least 30,000 new recruits in the police field. Is that enough, now that you talk about these also new crimes we are seeing when it comes to fighting crime?
But for us, it is not enough, because the crisis that the SAPs find themselves in, actually it is a conundrum, because as much as there are new recruits who are coming into the system, remember, they are not that experienced. They need to be held by the hand for them to get exposure within the workplace. In numbers, yes, that is something that we are accepting. But there is also a challenge where there are more experienced police officers who are exiting the system even before they could reach their pension years, some because of frustration, some because of a whole lot of different reasons. Some are because they found greener pastures outside there. Then that experience happens to go. So we are saying that as much as there is new recruits that are coming in, there should be a retention strategy that is also applicable to make sure that we don't lose all of those skills that we could use to capacitate when it comes to the re-establishment of specialized units. Because that experience, even the new recruits, as they are coming in, they need the old to show them on how policing is clearly being done. So it is a move that is positive, but without retention strategy, it is clearly taking us back to where we have been, and we don't want to go back to the status that we are finding ourselves in comparison to when we were around 190-something thousand just before the 2010 World Cup.
And these new interventions we are seeing, of course, the presidency also there announcing that they will be deploying more members of the defense force to try and deal with other crimes, like, of course, the issues that we see in the mining sector in this country, dealing with the zamazamas. And now we're seeing these new recruits in the police force. You know, do you ask yourself why now? I mean, you know, and I ask this question because, I mean, we're just a few months away from the 2024 elections. Do you think that the elections play some sort of role now that we are also seeing this major interventions from the police force?
For us, it's not about electioneering. Any move that is positive, that seeks to address the high levels of crime, as an organization, as a union, we clearly welcome it because our eyes are beyond the issue of electioneering. And further to that, Mbali, we need permanent solutions. We appreciate the deployment of the SANDF and so on, but it is unsustainable. You cannot sustain their deployments throughout. But we are saying that we have came before, we've been on record where we spoke about the re-establishment of specialized units, which include even the very same one that will deal with illegal mining, precious gold, metal, and gold, and precious metals, specialized unit that will deal with illegal mining, investigate, and be proactive in dealing with such crimes. So the challenge that we are seeing in this regard is that, yes, there are temporary solutions that are being brought about, which we will welcome. But on top of that, let us have permanent solutions that can make sure that whatever challenge that we have when it comes to crime, it is eradicated. We can be able to police, we can be able to make sure that our communities are safer.
And, you know, when it comes to what is highly needed and what should be prioritized right now in terms of fighting crime in this country, what is needed by the police force?
We need more resources when it comes to the human capital. We have seen in terms of the 10,000 that have been embarked on starting from the other year, and the government continue to commit to say they will even increase up until it goes to 30,000. And moreover, the very same ones who are coming in, they also need to have resources to make sure that they are clearly even capacitated, more especially when it comes to the technological advancement that we are referring to. And also making sure that when it comes to public order policing, because we have seen in terms of, you know, how South Africa turns out to be when it comes to unrest and so on. So we need to make sure that we are ready when it comes to that. But we need also that re-establishment of specialized units to make sure that indeed there is permanent solutions when it comes to challenges that we are having. We have seen in terms of the cash in transit heist that we have seen spiraling so hard. And the issue of police killings needs to be addressed, because as much as we are bringing police officers, we are bringing numbers, we need to make sure that we retain numbers. Criminals cannot come and kill police officers so easily, and for them not having anything that can deter them. We need to see police killings being declared treason so that we can have more police officers who can be able to police our societies and make sure that we are safe at all times.
Lesiba, thank you so much for your time here on SABC News.